There are some derivatives that we'll need to just make frequent reference to. One is for polynomials. And it's important to know that the derivative, written as d by dx of some polynomial like x to the n, is n x to the n minus 1 power. So for example, if f of x is 3x squared plus 4x plus 2, then f prime of x is going to be 6x plus 4. And that's because x to the n minus 1, in this case, since the power is 1, then n minus 1 is 0, and x to the 0 is just a constant. Here I took down the power by 1, and I brought down the coefficient. Here, when I take a derivative of a constant, it already has no dependence on x, so it's 0. For the trig functions, those are another common one that we'll want to make reference to. The derivative of the sine of x is a cosine of x. The derivative of cosine of x is minus sine of x. And these are not things I'm deriving right now, I'm just simply stating, but it's easy enough to see graphically why that would be the case. If this is the sine, its derivative is initially large and positive. So it should start out up here. Right here, the derivative should be 0 because the tangent line is flat, so that should be right there. Right there, the derivative should be large but negative because the tangent line looks like so. And then right here, the derivative should be 0 again because the tangent line is flat. So piecing this together, this looks more like cosine of x. And you can get a sense of why it would be that the derivative of the sine would be the cosine. Some others that we'll need to know are that the derivative of an exponential just gives you back the exponential again. And the derivative of a log is 1 over x. There's also something called the chain rule for derivatives. And that is that the derivative of a function of another function of x is equal to the derivative of that inside function at x times the derivative of the original function still evaluated at g of x. So it's, for example, suppose that f of x was 4 times the sine of, and instead of just x inside the argument of the sine, it's 3x squared plus 2x plus 1. How would I evaluate the derivative? The derivative would be 4 times the derivative of this thing on the inside, which would be 6x plus 2 times the cosine of 3x squared plus 2x plus 1.